Hello and welcome back. This is episode 228 of NooBTooB, a weekly-ish independent podcast where we are back once again. Yuzo doesn't have eye aids anymore. I don't think.
No, not anymore. I actually had eye condoms for a little while.
You gotta wear the Jimmy hat
the Jimmy
on the
hats.
eyes. The Jimmy eyes. The Jimmy contacts.
Yes, I had a nasty eye virus and a cold all together at once. So I was out of commission for about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Which happened to be my 2 weeks of vacation, which was
That's awesome. Yeah, 2 weeks of vacation spent bleeding out your eyes, which is why he's wearing nerd glasses.
Yeah, so I can't wear my contacts for a little while, so you can call me Nerd!
So I'm Tobo Kazire.
I'm Yuzo Watanabe. This week we are covering a bunch of games, including a big one called Portal 2.
Space! Space!
Space! GIRP! Moondiver, The Dishwasher Vampire Smile, and Swarm!
Yes, and new releases include Darkspore and Outland.
That's it?
That is it, and the rest of this month, the next month, is looking soft as a internet cam horse belly. I don't know.
That's pretty soft, actually.
It is pretty gunty.
Pretty gunty.
But we should get started with Portal Dos.
Portal Dos, yes. Ding! Wong. It's just like that ooze, the gel.
Yeah, that's the red gel.
Just pour it all over and do some slip and slide action.
Portal 2 was so awesome!
It was really good.
Portal 2 was so awesome!
This game, we've been waiting for what, 2-3 years now?
Something like that.
Like we had the whole thing, the cake is alive, the big song at the end.
We've been waiting less long than we have for episode 3, though.
Yes, I think
like
you're
episode,
right.
I think it's been 4 years.
Episode 2? Episode 2 was like 3 years ago.
I think it's 4 years ago. It's
Wow.
seriously been fucking forever.
So we don't call Gabe Newell fat. It's very important that we never call him that.
Now I'm confused. Now I think I'm wrong, because at the end of episode 2, they had a reference to Aperture Science.
So it must have been after.
I'm sorry.
I think they might have a little bit more time.
Yeah, I think.
But,
all right.
But yeah, no,
because that's the whole thing. Is everybody's super excited that episode 3, they're like, oh shit, we're gonna have portals in the Half-Life world.
Yes.
Like you could actually use them to take dudes out.
They have to. I mean, come on. If you think about it, they probably they were working on episode 3.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, portal guns are pretty cool. Let's redo episode 3 and actually put portals in it. I'm sure.
I bet you're
sure. So Portal 2.
So the night it came out, there was the whole ARG thing. I'm sure that you guys knew about this.
Yeah.
There was the
Did you do it?
alternate role playing game. I did. I played. I was trying to get the potatoes.
Oh yeah, nice.
The spuds. But I don't know if you guys know this, but you could. They had you download a whole bunch of different Valve games in the potato sack, and as you played more of that, it was supposed to accelerate the release of Portal 2.
And some people got a little annoyed.
I was one of them.
Right? Like I was hearing accelerate the release. Wow, we might be able to get it a week early.
Right.
No.
So they announced that countdown on like Thursday.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, holy shit. You guys, everybody go out and buy the potato sack.
Yep.
If we play the fuck out of it, take off work, play all day Friday.
We'll get it on the weekend.
We'll get it on the weekend. Wrong. So there was like 12 games in the pack, and every game that you maxed out the meter on, they took like 50 minutes off the counter.
Yeah. So it ended up being almost like, okay, so normally it happens at 10 a.m. Pacific. It was like 9 p.m. the day before.
Yeah, it's horseshit. Like, I love the concept. The concept is one of the most brilliant viral marketing things. They sold a fuck ton of games that people would not have normally bought. But I mean, give us more than that. Like
12 hours.
Crank it back. Give it to us on the weekend.
At least, right? Or at least a day or two, not like 12 hours. It just wasn't enough time.
That was
considering the amount of work that at least, the very least, right? The one cool thing they did for the people that got all the potatoes. Yeah. Apparently, I read they got the Valve pack, including Portal 2.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's cool.
So that's kind of cool if you spent the decades it took to get every single potato.
That is a lot of games. It was funny because I was playing through.
Which game?
So I played the one that was the. So the way I think about them in my mind is what kind of ripoff was it?
Yeah.
There was one game that was a Katamari ripoff.
Yeah.
That was pretty weak.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty weak. And then there was the game where you like falling.
That was kind of weak.
It was okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple other games. I mean, like I played through. Nothing was spectacular. Like I was all excited, so I played for a while until I realized how the counter was working, and then I was like, "Fuck you!"
You should have just played a bunch of Amnesia.
Yeah,
like that. That apparently was one of the ones that was further along the pack. But anyhow, I mean, they did a really cool job. I think the implementation of the whole ARG and all that. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
do a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like the idea. Fucking stellar.
Yes.
The implementation. Give us more early.
A little bit more time.
But then when it did come out,
yes,
we were sitting there waiting. the second that it unlocks,
Yep.
like it had preloaded and it starts unlocking like 5 minutes early, and I just could not stop playing.
So you
Portal.
did the PC version?
I did.
So I waited until my PS3 version came in. And then you also get the PC version for free, which was pretty awesome.
That's excellent.
I thought I got a great deal out of it. I played it. I really enjoyed the single player. I think I pretty much finished it that day.
Yeah.
How long did it take you? About 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah, I think about that. Maybe 6 hours. Yeah, it was like that.
A little longer than the first one.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like the first one, you could bang through it in 3 to 4 hours, and this one was roughly twice that.
Yeah,
maybe a little bit. Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe it was 7 hours.
So, yeah, it felt to be about 7 hours. It was really long. There was parts of it, and this is almost like a slight complaint about it. It almost felt like it was a little stretched out.
See, I didn't feel that at all.
Really?
No.
Well, I mean,
but the thing is the Valve world of the Portal world, I love so much that like I'm happy to just kind of like wander and have like the dude talking in my ear and just look at stuff and like dick around.
But weren't there like a couple of stretches where you're like in a big ass room with a bunch of urban decay and like you have to figure it out, but you have to walk a lot. Do you know what I mean? Well, that's what it felt like to me.
I didn't feel that at all.
There's a couple of areas because with me, like I thought Portal 1 was perfect.
Yeah.
It was just long enough.
Yeah.
Every single map, level, or room, test room, like I'd go and like, oh, what do I do? Oh, what do I do?
Yeah.
And then this one, there's certain stretch, and I'm not giving anything away. I don't
Right.
think. Like you'd go and all of a sudden, like you see like this long ass corridor. I'm like, all right, let me walk down. And I never had to use my portal, so I'm just walking.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta go that way.
I don't remember like walking ever. Like,
well, when you went down to that main area where there's like all water, is like when you first started getting the gels.
Yeah.
Like there. Like
there
to
would be
me,
like a tunnel between 2 rooms.
No,
though.
but there was that whole big ass section where you had to go up the stair, you had to go up the
yeah,
elevator.
yeah.
Right, there's like that, and I'm just like, okay, well, I understand the puzzle component of find the place to put the portal.
Yeah.
It felt a little stretchy.
That's funny. So you basically you just want the game to be a series of challenge rooms end to end.
Yes.
Like that's all you want.
And to me, the beginning was awesome.
Yeah.
The end was awesome, and the middle was just like it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It was just less awesome.
Interesting.
Right?
Interesting.
And like I love Portal 1 so much, and it's just like the pacing was a little off. It felt.
Wow. Okay.
So what about you? Like,
so for me, like I was so enthralled. Like it's hard to talk about this without giving spoilers. But there's this guy called Cave Johnson, which is he's voiced by AJ something. It's
not Merchant. That was the other guy.
No, Steve Merchant was the other guy. So this guy, if you guys know, he was the white supremacist on Oz. He was Juno's dad.
Wasn't he in Mad Men 2 or something crazy?
I don't think he was in Mad Men.
Okay, gotcha.
But he's a character. You know his face if you saw it. I mean, he's got this perfect.
Wait, he wasn't the big guy that with bald.
Yeah,
is that guy?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Like the tossing the salad of that one guy.
The white supremacist.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
okay.
So
oh shit! Now it puts that whole game in an entirely different light.
Every time I see him, I just expect him to just be like beating people up.
Wow.
But it was just one of these things where I was just walking through rooms and I was just giddy with the plot, with the world that they built. Where there's like this whole now we know the back history with the portals and all the technology, the company that made them, and like where the GLaDOS come from and.
Because like to me, like it all felt like I like the story. It did definitely flesh stuff out, but like to me, it's just like okay, this happens, which is it's a trope that you see in a lot of things. I'm not going to give anything away, but like this happens. I'm like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen, right? And like this other one is just like, oh, how are they going to relate that? Yeah, okay. Like to me, it wasn't as surprising. So maybe that was part of because it all happened in the middle, right? There was so much exposition.
Yeah.
Where I was just like, I want to solve some puzzles. Give me some fucking puzzles, please.
Wow.
And again, it's not a slight. It's just less awesome than,
Gotcha.
than the beginning and the end for me.
But what I think was the coolest was the way that they just kept meeting out new things. Where it'd be like you master something and then you turn around and there's like now there's energy walls and energy floors and now there's like those
the bridges.
The bridges were cool. I loved the beams that would move stuff and then when you stepped on a switch it pulls it back the other way. So there's like those kind of puzzles around floating things in the sky and all the goo.
Did you find the puzzles particularly hard?
I found
I found a couple.
I found a couple to be like crazy hard.
Yeah, and part of it was more my fault because like one was like I'd go around a corner and I'd be like, "What do I do?"
Yeah.
And then I spent 20 minutes wandering around when all I had to do is when I got into the room I had to go left.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, oh, I get it.
Well, I mean, the funniest thing about like every puzzle in all the Portal games is that it's always been this way. That once you figure it out, you're like, well, that puzzle was way too easy.
Yeah.
Like, you're just like, that was ridiculous. And I'm sure if I sat down right now and played Portal 2 again, I could beat it in 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
it would just be a fucking speed run,
oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But the first time you go through and you sit in that room and you're like, there is white goo over there, and there's a fucking bounce plate, and there's an exit that there's no way in hell I could get to that. It's impossible, you know? And it's just like, you know, there were those times where I'm just like, that's it. I'm going to go look at a game fact. Like, I'm going to go look up how to do this. I'm like, no, I know that I can get there. Like, I know that I can do it.
So I don't want to give anything away, but the one, like, I seriously, like, I was so close to giving up. Like, I was half an hour, but the one with the goo. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. The one with the goo.
There's
towards the end.
In going up the shaft?
The blue goo.
Oh, the blue goo. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, that pissed me off. Like, seriously, I'm just like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I was trapped. I couldn't figure. I was just like, and then finally, I just
the blue goo was taking you back to being molested by Smurfs.
It was.
No,
was. Like, stop with
Papa Smurf, not in the eyes.
Brady Smurf. No, anybody but him. But yeah, so like there was a couple that were really hard, but like for the most part, I would say like it would be more medium to slightly easy. A lot of the puzzles I felt. Yeah. Where it wasn't really the fact of like, you know, really straining my brain. It's just more like, oh, here's a little bit of friction, you know, and it really moved things along, which I kind of liked. Yeah. But some people I heard complaining about.
I mean, the big thing is that they changed their mentality on the puzzles, right? Like the first Portal was twitch puzzling, where it's like you'd be in the air and you'd pop a new portal, pop a new portal, and then this one was puzzles, where it was just like you almost never had to do something quickly. It was just a matter of figuring out the order, but I mean, there was no twitchiness to this at all.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like some of the timing ones, and like really like if you even boiled down to the timing, it was actually kind of easy,
right?
For the most part.
So I think, and the funny thing is I've heard people being like, I like the Twitch better, I like the other one better. I'm like, I like them both. Yeah, like I genuinely enjoyed in both of them. Like I like puzzling in almost any form.
I mean, I kind of wish they would add a little bit more of the elements where you're like in the air and you have to like throw the portal right at the right. They didn't. They kind of backed away from that. I think.
Yeah, no, they definitely did. I mean, they took that all out, and it seems to me like they took it out so much that it was intentional. You think that so? It was like they wanted this to be a different paced game.
Yeah, you know what? I bet they did. They probably looked at Portal and like where everybody was getting stuck, and they did all the fucking data mining and shit, and said, okay, let's just make more puzzles like this.
So I've been reading some stuff on the net. Like they apparently had plans for a couple more things that they took out. They had this another goo that would let you walk on walls.
Oh wow!
And apparently beta testers were getting vertigo. They actually
that's just like Prey. I was getting kind of sick playing Prey, and I can see that.
So. Well, and then apparently there's a couple other puzzles they took out because they said that they were too hard and people were getting frustrated. I'm like, put those in as bonus levels. Are you kidding me?
Or challenge levels.
Yeah, challenge levels. I mean, don't ever throw it away.
Well, you don't get challenge. Like, if I recall correctly, it's been a long time since I played Portal, but I remember you getting like some sort of challenge level-y type thing, right?
Was there?
I don't remember, but this is what people were saying, and I was just like, I don't
remember that.
But you don't get anything for finishing the single player, as far as I can tell, except for like an avatar unlock or whatever.
God, now that you say that, I feel like there might have been some special thing, but I can't remember for the life of me what it was.
Yeah, I do feel like kind of like replaying it though, because you have the director's commentary, and those guys are pretty funny.
Yes, I think that would actually be really fun, is to play it with the commentary.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now that you're mentioning it, I kind of want to. I'm probably going to go back and replay Portal 1 just for shits and grins too, because I haven't played through that for a long time.
I did like, and hopefully it's not a spoiler, but I did like revisiting some of the old school levels. I'm like, I remember that.
And you know, we just have to mention like the writing is like nothing you'll see. It really is like nothing out there. I mean, there's just these moments that you're just giggling uncontrollably at the interaction between people and like the shit that they say, and they're like insulting you and like. Talking about your parents abandoning you and not loving you, and you're being fat and ugly.
It's just like, look at her. She's not fat.
Yeah.
But I mean, they did really good. The voice acting is phenomenal. I'm really glad they got somebody the caliber of like a merchant to do it.
And you didn't get to try any co-op, right?
No. So how is it?
So I, with one of my coworkers, we were stuck late on a project one night, and we were doing this stuff where it's like it would take an hour to compile. So we'd kick off on your compile, and then we were just sitting there, like we were sitting there till like 10 o'clock at night. We're just like, fuck it, let's play some Portal 2, and it is so fun.
Oh wow!
Because the whole thing is they've set it up so that if you're not in the same room, you can point at a wall and then indicate. You're like, I would like you to put a portal here that you can actually direct, like with gestures,
cool. Yeah.
And you can actually gesture a countdown. where it'll go 3, 2, 1.
Oh, how do you gesture?
It's like hold down Shift and then a little radial menu comes up. So you say, I want this, I want this. I forget which button it is, but the cool thing is, but then you're in the same room. Oh shit! This is the other cool thing that blows my mind. You hold down Control, picture-in-picture comes up of their point of view.
Wow!
How cool is that?
Wow! Okay, that's pretty freaking awesome.
It blew me away. It absolutely blew me away because even with us in the same room, we'd be sitting there trying to solve a puzzle, and he's just like, I'm not sure, and I'd hit Control. I'm like, oh, it's on your left. So it's just like this incredible, just cooperative, like almost you become like a melded mind where you start to end up getting these puzzles where it's just like one of you will throw a puzzle and the other one's like, hold on a second, yeah, what? And like it becomes nonverbal and then like one of them is like, oh, what? Oh!
Nice.
And it's just you both just have this huge grin on your face the whole time.
Is there more of a story? Is there like a story component of that, or is it pretty much?
It's kind of like GLaDOS is like, hey, you two jackasses, do some puzzles.
Okay,
like,
well that's good because like
it's right up your alley.
I think that's what because I was like playing the single player and again, it's good, it's great.
Yeah.
I was just like I was kind of missing a little bit of something that I really liked the first one, and I was really hoping the co-op would bring it. What I needed, and it sounds like they kind of did.
So I've only done the first like hour of co-op. So you and I should hook up and do the full because it is when you get into puzzles that are 4 portal puzzles, your brain starts to fucking snap because there'll be these things where you have to put a portal on a wall and run up here, and then there's areas you can't reach that your partner has to put other portals that like you're doing like these like weird 4
so
portal.
they're sending you other places.
Yeah.
My brain.
It's neat.
My brain's
it's
already
really
hurting.
Neat. Yeah.
I don't think it's the one.
No.
So I mean, I think it feels good. Like one of the things I think again another sort of downside is like there isn't sort of the cultural touchstones in this one.
I did notice that.
I was missing, like, right?
I mean, like, the lines I thought were there. Like, there was
great.
stuff from Cave Johnson, whatever, but I mean, the song at the end was pretty weak.
Yeah, it was like, eh.
It was
I think it was Colton, though. I think it was.
Was it really?
Well, I mean, I think he wrote it. I don't think he sang it, obviously.
Wow. I mean, for me, it didn't have the genius of Still Alive. Like, was it Glad You're Gone or something like that?
Yeah, Glad You're Gone, I think.
Yeah, it was, I mean, like, I saw it and I'm like, that's kind of cool, but I will never hum it. No. I will never, I don't think it's going to show up. Yeah, I mean,
right?
You hear that,
like,
and you're like,
hum the end song of Portal 2.
The what?
Hum it, like.
Glad you're gone. I don't know. I can't do it.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not memorable. And is there a Cake is a Lie moment of this?
No, that's true.
So like to me, like right, like I take all this stuff again. Portal, awesome game, like amazing experience. Portal 1 was fucking one of the I think it was game of the year or like definitely up there. Like this one. There might be some other games, like maybe Uncharted 3. Like you know what I mean? Like if you're
saying it's not a lock-in.
It's not a lock-in, absolutely not.
I gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
And like you look at some of the other games that are coming out, some of the games that came before. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, awesome game.
Right. So I feel a little bit more extreme than you. Like for me, this was one of my top gaming experiences of the year. Like, but I mean,
you haven't played Uncharted 3 yet.
Is that supposed to come out this year?
I thought it was this year.
No fucking way.
It didn't come out last year, right? Uncharted 2 didn't come out last year, right?
Maybe. That'd be badass. I hope so. I don't know.
My brain
yes.
is not working right.
So we shall see. But I mean, for me, so far, this is one of my.
Yeah, it's definitely this year.
Yeah.
It's gotta be because Uncharted 2 was 2 years ago. Right?
I'll take it, dude. I will take it. I will take it. And I want Rocket Slime this year. And
I don't know about that. They just announced.
Where'd you put your 3DS?
Oh,
but anyway, he brought his 3DS down, so I got to check that shit out. That was.
Interesting. No, we're talking about next week.
Okay. We'll talk about it next week.
Yes.
So anyway, Portal 2.
Great game. Awesome.
I can't imagine that anyone watching NooBTooB hasn't actually already purchased this game.
Yeah, our review is superfluous.
But if you haven't, go buy this game right now. It is so freaking good.
And definitely, I would say get the PS3 version because you get the PS3 and you get a free copy of the PC version.
Yeah.
And you can play against each other together.
That's right.
So it's totally worth it.
If you have PS3.
If you have a PC or PC.
Yeah.
But even if you, that's what I'm saying. If you have, here's the thing, right? If you have a PC,
buy
the PS3 version anyways, get the code and freaking sell it. Right?
Good point, yes.
Right?
That's true.
That's what I say.
Always thinking.
I'm telling you.
You're such an entrepreneur.
I'm saving you guys money.
Yes. So next up is GIRP.
GIRP.
Derpity derp.
Hold on, I gotta get my leg over there. Hold on. So this is from the guy who made Quap.
Yeah. Who I'm still angry at a little bit for Quap.
Have you gone back to and beat my score of 8 meters?
I have not.
Oh, dude.
I have not because this guy is the king of annoyance. He's the god of all things that make me angry.
But the thing is, when you get it, you feel really good.
I don't get it, though. Because I don't put in that kind of time. I was just like, ah!
I was playing GIRP for a good half hour, man.
Really?
Just trying to get as high as I can. Yeah, because it gets hard.
Yeah?
Like, I'm saying, like, this is kind of hard, but you can do it.
Yeah.
Once you get, like, a few meters up, all of a sudden you're like, you gotta, like, get multiple hands. You gotta do a jump. You gotta, it gets crazy. So what is GIRP?
Annoying.
Besides that,
it's a wall with a bunch of letters on it, and then you're a dude, and whatever letter you push, you try to grab that rung.
Yes.
But a lot of times it'll be out of your reach, and then you can hit shift,
spacebar, or shift, or something. Like
yeah, maybe spacebar, and he just kind of flails his little spaghetti muscles, and then if you're holding the right thing, then he ends up grabbing onto it. So the whole thing is you got to get up above the wall while death water. Which is the allergy of everyone in the whole world. Like, I love that there was this one time where there's this little pool of water in Portal, and like I thought that the puzzle was like you run across it and do something else, and it's like, oh no, of course, as a human being, water kills me immediately.
Well, it's radioactive water,
obviously.
Right?
And in this one is just like this poor guy who is obviously an athletic rock climber.
I'm gonna say that athletic.
Well. I want to see you climb that wall, if flailing or not. I don't know if we get, but I mean, it's just whatever. So the water's coming up, and you just got to climb up as quickly as possible.
Yeah, and it ends up being almost like this weird thing of spaghetti fingers.
Yes,
because you're playing Twister with your fingers, where you have to hit A and then P and then Z, right? So you got to do this, and it's like really crazy.
But the downside is that it's it's unlike Twister in that you don't get to cop a feel on a girl while pretending that you're not doing that,
or accidentally fall face first into their chest,
into the breasts.
Oh, sorry!
Yeah. Oh, haha! This is so funny.
That was Tom.
Yeah. Let me give you an impression of every kid under like 15 playing Twister ever is just like
or whoops.
Oh, the spinner says dry hump your leg. She's like, did I see that? No, you can't see that.
Nope.
Sorry. Shut up and get back like this. I like when you did the doggy style, whatever that is.
Well, you know, the thing is, you got to get one of your guy friends to actually like do the spinner.
Yeah, and he stops it on.
Well, he's like, oh yeah, that's
red.
Yeah,
whatever that is that needs you to stick your head between her legs.
Yes.
I'm talking about GIRP. So
GIRP. So this is a flash game. It's actually easier than QWOP, I think.
Yeah, it is. In that I got more than 2 meters up the wall.
Okay. But it's fun. I think it's one of those things where you really should just send your friends to it and watch them play more than anything.
Yeah, I guess that's what I mean. Like I appreciate the creativity of it, but it is one of those things where it's like I play it for 5 minutes. I'm like, I get it.
Fuck you.
And you're fucking annoying. Like, I'm glad that you made this. It's cool that you did this, but like I don't find this kind of gaming enjoyable.
Well, I think it's one of the things. It's almost avant-garde, right? We're in an era now where you start having these sort of movements of gameplay innovations, right?
How many air quotes can you do in this sentence? Flail it.
But like, right? I mean, like you're actually getting things where now it's just like, okay, I'm going to make a game, but I'm making it as annoying as possible.
Yeah.
And you're gonna stop making these things. Stop making it. You're gonna enjoy it.
Right. Right. Where it's like torture enjoyment.
Right. Right. Yeah. And I honestly, I think that as a game industry, like we're at a new fucking era at this point where like you had art where just like you put a pipe and say this is not a pipe. Right? Right?
This sentence is false.
Right, this sentence is false, right? You're just like, huh?
I think you're right, because the thing is we've all seen what's easy. Like, we've all seen the concepts of platforming, exploration, whatever. So now you get to those things where it's like, I remember when I first saw Braid or I first saw whatever, and it tickles one part of your brain. You're like, oh, I haven't thought like that before. Like, GIRP doesn't necessarily do that for me, but I do have to respect its creativity.
But it tickles a part of your brain. It's the frustration / annoying part of your brain really well.
Yeah.
Right. And to me, that like if you start talking about fucking game as art and all this other stuff, like that's where you're starting to approach it, where you start making games not just to have fun, but to evoke.
Right.
like
furious anger. Yeah. No, it's true. Like, I will actually respect a game that makes me livid. Not like livid, like walk away from it immediately livid, but just like, oh, come on! Like, and so I saw what, like, I was totally going to get the name of this game. I saw one of my coworkers trying one of these games today that we totally have to try. Okay. So you're walking around on the face of a cube, and it's a puzzle on the face of a cube, and gravity is down, and you can turn the faces so you fall different ways. But the trick is you're walking around the cube. So if you turn the face, all the other faces, like, so there might be a tunnel to the other side.
Oh,
but
shit.
you've turned it, so even though
my brain is
yeah, so I mean, it's
breaking.
just like, you just imagine, it's a Rubik's
Flash?
Cube.
Okay.
It didn't look like Flash. It looked like a real game, but it was just like you can turn each face as you're walking on it, and gravity is always down, so you're falling, and shit blocks are falling, whatever. But you're trying to walk to the other faces, so if you turn it, like, like...
You're turning part of it. You're not turning the whole face.
You turn the face you're on. But there might only be a way to walk to it if you've turned the face the right way. I mean, it's
dude.
fucking...
Oh,
I was
wow.
watching him, and I was just like, holy... I have never thought about a game like this before. Like, it combines 3 or 4 different gaming elements in a way that I was really impressed with. So I'll get the name of that,
find
and
out what it is.
we'll review that on the show for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, like...
You know what I mean?
We are in a renaissance of gaming.
Yeah,
because it's so approachable, because one man can do these things. And even back in the day, like, one man could program something in BASIC.
Yeah.
And he could do something, but he couldn't get it to anybody.
No.
Right? So it's like this combination of...
It was like plastic bags of going to computer shows and selling it, but now...
And we would go to stores, and we'd see the buckets and buckets of shareware, and you'd go through and buy them
Dude, you come!
Yeah, $3 a disc.
Yeah.
And now it's just like demo for free, Amazon payment, boom, boom, boom. Like these people can, from nothing, make a living if they've got the right ideas.
Yeah, and like, really, this is just a marketplace of ideas now, right?
Yeah.
You can make up anything. You can have, like you said, 1 or 2 person teams, and make something really frustrating, make something really fun.
Yeah.
And I want to see it. I want to see a game that makes you cry. I want to see it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's one of the holy grails of gaming, right?
It's
like,
true.
To really say, like, can you make it art? If you can make somebody cry, I would say that's a pretty good bar.
Yeah.
For the most part.
I think the closest I've ever come is I've teared up with emotion when something really badass happened, like just because like
Aerith dying, or
yeah, no, now that I say this, I can't think of any examples, but I know that I've been in a couple of, like, I'll get like the goosebumps, or like just something really impressive will happen, even if it's just like, I mean, I'm kind of weird like that, where like I'll see really cool architecture and I'll just kind of like get a little bit choked up just because I think that's fucking cool, but I've never had the like like I've seen in a movie, like there's movies that will make me weep like a bitch.
Take the first like 5 minutes of Up.
Yeah. And put that in a game.
Make a game do that.
Right.
Like, have a game do that, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
I'm not crying.
Blinking really quick. Your wife comes in. What are you doing? Nothing! Shut the door! I'm masturbating! Something less embarrassing. But yeah, you're right. I mean, like, but we're getting closer and closer to that kind of holy grail where the games make you feel more and more, which is cool.
And this is one step. And I'm not saying it's the one that'll do it, but it's just like people are making frustrating games, and I think all the power to them.
Yeah. I'm not giving GIRP's thumbs up though. That annoys me.
Awesome
Game
job.
annoys me.
Great job.
So
Moondiver. Strider 3.
AKA Strider the Electric Boogaloo.
Yes.
Next gen. So we were super excited.
Yeah,
we both purchased the game immediately because we wanted to do the online co-op.
Yeah, because we were figuring, like, I don't want to play Strider by myself for the most part.
Right.
But 4-player Strider, hell yeah.
Yeah. So so we hopped in.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Shitty.
Yeah, not good.
No, not good at all. It was. I could definitely see some of the elements of Strider there.
Yeah.
But a lot of the magic of Strider was just totally gone. And I'm trying to figure out. I was trying to think about, like, what am I going to talk about this game? Like, what about Strider did I like that this didn't have?
Yeah, I think there was definitely a darkness to Strider that I appreciated. Like, there was this kind of like cold mechanical fear to the world where it's like, you know that you're running in a desolate Russian wasteland and you may be some secret agent or whatever, but it's just kind of like, it was creepy. It was just kind of cold and and it was a little bit more extreme. Like, you had a little bit more speed. Your blade was really big. Like, there was just something about the art style that really got me with Strider.
And I agree with you. Like the music and like all the art was great. To me, it was almost like the flow.
Yeah.
Like when you're actually playing, you hit A, right? You all of a sudden you like do this somersault and you're kind of flowing and then whoosh, whoosh, whoosh,
yes,
it's this magical feel of whoosh, 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 while you're just like doing these crazy acrobatics.
And now that I think back on it, I think when you were hammering on your blade in midair in the original Strider, it would slow your fall just a little. I think it was like one of those things where it's like,
think so?
Or maybe it just felt that way. Maybe it just felt that way.
The way you say it now, I'm just like, oh yeah, totally. But like,
but the point is we both remember what that felt like. We both remember that you are a goddamn fucking future ninja.
Yeah, it was like
wrecking stuff.
Acrobatic, like just you felt like a badass. I was playing my Genesis, and I'm just like, and seriously, this was one of those games where I would come home every day from school and play Strider and finish it. I finished that game like 50 times.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was, well, I mean, like, also, like, we didn't have many games to play at the time. We were four. But
You look what I have to fuck with!
Fuck, it's just like Nintendo Golf or Strider. What are you going to play? I mean, seriously. But,
like, am I going to beat Zelda again?
Yeah, right? But it was one of those ones where you, like, get home at school from 3, and by dinner time, about 5 hours in, you'd be finished.
Beat it, yeah.
Right? And I just, it's one of the few games where I just beat over and over
this is so much better than having friends.
Strider, you'll be my friend.
Strider always is there when I hit the power button. But so this one has nothing. Like so you and I were going around. It feels very bouncy. You know, you don't feel like you're being cooperative so much as just racing from point A to point B. So you and I were constantly leaving each other behind.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like we were even intending to. It's just that like it's just the way the game works. Like you're bouncing to get from point A to point B, and you're just always kind of like drifting apart.
And they're throwing tons of guys at you. Like, to me, it almost felt like a slog.
Yeah.
Like, we were playing seriously like maybe 10 minutes, and I'm like, I'm kind of getting tired of pushing my A button.
Yeah.
Because what they would do is, like, you would go through the level, and all of a sudden they'd put these bars down, and they would throw about 1,000 guys at you. You'd be like, wah, 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 wah.
That's it.
And then go to the next stage. And
right.
just like,
which is a pattern actually this week. We'll discuss another game that felt like that to me.
Oh, yeah. I think
but yeah, it's just there was nothing there that grabbed me. I mean, you and I both played. We played a couple levels, and we saw that the levels were very similar.
Yep.
And we're just like we were talking on Skype.
Yeah.
Like when we were playing, we're just like, "You done? Yeah, I'm done."
Yeah, done. Just like, you want to play another level? Like, not really.
Yeah. The level ends, and we're just like, huh.
I think I see where this is going.
I get it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
anyway,
done.
Moondiver, not fun.
Stay away.
Next up is the Dishwasher Vampire Smile.
Yeah, so I have some fucking issues with this game.
Oh, really?
Well, this game is just like, it's one of those ones where I'm reading all the gaming press, even though I probably shouldn't, and people say, yeah, this is so awesome, the art style, blah, 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 blah.
Which
8,
I will agree with
9.
on the art style.
But...
I mean, like, I think that the art style is phenomenal.
I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen it done before, right? Like, they have the whole, ultra violence, lots of blood. It's just like you saw it with Shank. You saw, right? I mean, like, they've been making these side-scrolling games with lots of blood for a while now.
Right.
So to me, this doesn't stand out.
Right. I mean, I enjoyed the whole thing of like you being in a lunatic asylum, and then you'd be crawling around, and then suddenly you'd be in your head, and you're like fighting people. I mean, like all I'm saying is that the art and the concept.
Yeah.
I thought were cool, and I wish that the gameplay was fun.
Yeah. The gameplay. So this game, it's a side-scroller,
right.
2D side-scroller, basically brawler. You're going around hitting people, just like Moondiver, just like any of the other games.
Right.
And it's pretty basic.
It's really basic, like
surprisingly basic.
The whole thing must. You know what this is? This is a side-scrolling 99 Nights. Like
yeah, I can see that.
The people that because what you're probably going to get is you get these guys in the IGN and these other guys. They're just like, oh yeah, this is an amazing experience. But I mean, like the experience is you running around and looking at really cool explosions or really cool blood splatters, really cool whatever. But I mean, if you look at your fingers, it's like attack, dive, attack, dive, attack. I mean,
I think pretty much what I've spent the entire game doing is A B. A-B
right.
over and over again. It's just like... Ugh.
And you and I, we're much more into, like, we enjoy the look of something, but I mean, it's just like, it's gotta make us think about something. It can't be 99 Nights. Like, it can't just be hammer on the button. And
it kind of, like, disappoints me because I see all these, like, indie developers who are making these side-scrolling games, because it's pretty easy to do for the most part, and spending all their time on art.
Right? Yes.
And it's just like, you really need to do something. You gotta do a Shadow Complex. Make it a Metroid clone. Right. Do something else.
And you see glimmers of that. I mean, you saw like there was the ability to turn spectral in this, where it's like there'd be bars on doors, and you could kind of turn into a ghost and flow through them.
But there wasn't like an exploration aspect to the game at all to make it even useful, right?
But I mean, like I was just like I could see that they did a little bit. Like they kind of
moon mist move, and
I mean they. But then the core element was just blah 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 blah. It's just nothing.
Yeah, so I think with like these sorts of 2D scrollers, I'm kind of getting really sick of them at this point because they're making a lot of them. I don't know if you tried Russian Attack.
No.
Oh God, I'm even going to review it. It's that bad. Wow. It's a remake. You remember Russian Attack, right?
Yes.
Where it's just like, knife,
yes,
dog,
yes.
knife.
That's right.
It's download the trial. It's probably the worst side-scroller I've played in a long time. And this is considering all the other ones that we've already played.
Well, I mean, if you look at it, like, it's not like this is all that different than Kung Fu, right? Like, shit has not come all that far. Yeah, ha ha ha, ha ho ha, ha ha ha. Like, the concept's the same, though. It's just hammer the shit on people with some decent timing. But, you know, it's funny, though. Like, you were just talking about how you're just like, I'm getting kind of tired of the 2D side-scroller. Yeah. But we're talking about Outland this week.
Oh, I know.
So you may
something different.
You may eat your words.
Okay, so we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, Dishwasher Vampire Smile, try the trial. You might like the art style enough to get past it, but honestly, like, we didn't even like, what was that one? Scott Pilgrim.
No.
Right? That had all sorts of art style going on.
Great music, all sorts of funny little fucking jokes.
Retro shit, but God, ugh.
Yeah, it was just...
Gameplay sucked, so...
So last one up is Swarm.
Yeah,
this was a cool one. This was interesting. So what's the concept?
So the concept is it feels to me like a cross between Pikmin, a little bit and a little bit of what was that other game? The one on PSP where you were flipping around. Loco Roco.
Yes,
a little bit of that.
Yeah,
kind of mixed together where you have
like Lemmings, sort of Pikmin.
A little bit of Lemmings. Yeah. So what's the whole concept?
You got 50 little alien dudes, and your whole thing is you got to pick up a bunch of shit on the way. But the main goal is to get A to B. Yep. You got 50 dudes, and all you can do is steer them around, and then you can like kind of make them pile up into a tower. You can make them move around back and forth. You make them spread out and get together. Yep. It's all like physics mechanics on these 50 dudes, and they are fragile. They are fragile. It's like you're walking them into spikes and little mines are going off.
Part of it is you're supposed to kill them.
Yes.
You actually like have achievements or trophies to kill a certain number.
Yeah, which is funny.
Which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's like you get an achievement where it's like everybody died at once. Yeah. It's like bing. It's like really?
It's like okay.
But you just end up giggling because the deaths are not punishing. It's like you start over, and a lot of times you lose a bunch of dudes, and then you come up to a platform, and all your guys kind of come back.
There's like egg sacks or whatever, like strategically placed along the maps where you refill everybody.
Right.
Back up to 50 again.
So I mean, I was really, really impressed with this because every time I started to kind of understand the mechanics of it, they would add some new stuff. They'd be like, okay, now you can kind of charge your guys up and make them all jump at once, and you're trying to get over like power beams. You're trying to get up in the sky.
The stacking one was
the stacking's
tough one, right?
cool.
It's like you hit it. I forget the right combo, like LB, right B, whatever, and you stack
group them together, and then you make them stack.
And then you walk slow.
Yeah.
Right? Where you have to kind of like, because they topple over. If you walk too fast, they'll all fall over.
Right.
But then there'll be like these fiery spinning things where you have to kind of walk in a circle with them
While they're stacked, yeah.
Right? So they really played with the level design.
And then there'll be boxes hanging in midair, so you'll be already stacked up, and you have to hold down another button to charge and run, and your dude's like, wah! Just fucking, they smack into the box, and prizes fall down and stuff. I was really impressed. I mean, it's super simple. It's super straightforward. It's just kind of like get your guys from here to here. But I have a blast with it. I think it's great.
Yeah, and I think the animation and the sound is great. It's just the feel of it, right? Like you are some massive alien tentacled thing, and then you go bloop, and then Swarm pops out. They do some stuff, and then whoop, they get sucked back. So I mean, just like they did a really great job with it. I think.
And, I think that it's the kind of self-enclosed concept where it's like you go and see it, and you're just like, okay, you guys did something really clever with this, and there was nothing that really jumped out at me as super annoying, which I really appreciated games. It was like, wow, you didn't piss me off at all.
Not like GIRP.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really liked it. I think it's well worth the entry fee.
I think so too.
Pretty awesome.
So go get it, and there's a free trial.
Yes, on both PSN and XBLA, I believe.
That's right. So go try it out. See if you like it.
Yep. Okay.
So
new releases.
Next up is new releases.
Yeah, not much. No. The first up we have Darkspore. Did we review the beta? I think we did.
We already talked about it.
I talked about it. Diablo with some Spore elements.
Yes.
Kind of meh.
When I played it at PAX, I had enough to not actually want to play it anymore.
It was only like 2 minutes. Too.
I know.
Seriously.
I know. 2 minutes was more than enough.
A huge chance.
Which is what a lot of girls that I dated in college said about me.
Yeah, pretty much 2 minutes. It's like, but then like some of the girls at our college, that's all I deserve.
That's all I could stand. After that, I was like, just take the cape off of your backpack.
Just please.
Come on.
Your stick.
Don't bring your staff to bed. You're not Gandalf.
So Darkspore, I tried the trial. I played a little more, like maybe at least half an hour.
Yeah.
But really, it does feel like kind of a Diablo clone. They added a couple of things, nothing to really differentiate. I thought. And Diablo 3 is going to come out someday.
Someday. We keep hearing. right when episode 3 comes out.
Yes.
But the next one up is Outland.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this.
Me too. So I had never even heard of this, and you were playing a video.
Yeah.
And it's similar to Ikaruga, which we've talked about in the past, which is like a legendary shmup.
It's the shmup. It's the shmup to pay. And the whole idea behind it is, for shmups concerned, right, your ship, and you have bullets flying at you because of bullet hell, they'll be white or black. Right. You could change the polarity of your ship to white or black, and you could absorb white if you're white, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, right? But if you're white, you can hurt black, but you can't hurt white.
And I like how real life is. So they took that idea of polarity and said, let's do it around a platformer that is modeled, feels to me like a Metroidvania style platformer, right?
Right.
Great mix, if you ask me.
I've actually never, like, it was one of those things where we were watching the video and we're like, oh. So your dude, you can walk around, you can switch between, it was red and blue, right?
It was white and black,
white
and then
black,
the thing is blue and red.
So
it's kind of confusing.
You're going, and you can, if there's bullets going by, you can get hurt by them if they're a different color than you. Yep. But then there's like little energy balls you can pick up. But then if you stand on dark platforms, when you're dark, they'll move, and then enemies will be throwing stuff at you, and you got to dodge if they're a different color. But you got to be a different color to shoot them.
Yep. And you, like, if you're white and then the enemy's white, you just hit it, nothing happens. You bounce off of them. But then there's like this whole thing where, like, initially you start out, you don't have any dark power.
Right.
So you just have light power, and then you find the dark.
Wait, you have what power? You have what power?
You have light power, power of light. Oh, jeez.
When you start the game, all you got is white power.
That's all you got. And you got to find the Dark Temple to get some black power. So this
you're very limited by white power.
Very limited.
You really got to expand your mind to get out of the white power mindset.
Are there any Black Panthers in this game?
Yeah, you got to get the Black Panther power.
Yes.
So it was one of those things. You and I were watching the video, and it was like we watched 1 minute of gameplay. We both came. We were like, "Get it, launch."
Yep.
It's got all that shit that we look for. So I am super excited to try this out. And it's this week. It's
I think it's Wednesday, so it'll be a few days back. Go check. I think both PSN and XBLA.
Yep.
Okay, I think we have just donations.
Yep, we'll just mention donations. So Chester.
Thank you.
While we were awake, while Yuzo was sick, he was sending him get well money.
Yes, thank you.
Which was just like,
I used it on Dayquil. Thank you very much. Just kidding.
So thank you very much, Chester, for giving us the money that keeps us going. If you want to donate, there is a button over on the side at NooBTooB.com if you want to go check that out. So thank you guys very much.
Yes, and I think that's all for our show this week. Please check out our website at NooBTooB.com and participate in our forums by clicking on the community tab at the top of the page. Also follow us on Twitter at NooBTooB and like us on Facebook.
Yep. And if you're watching this video on YouTube, there's a subscription button right up here. Press it right now. I can wait.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
They did.
So also give this video a big thumbs up by clicking over down here. And thanks for watching. That's all for us. I'm Tobin Kozire.
And I'm Yuzo Watanabe. Our engineering is done by Range Ultraman Strong. Oh, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.
Range White Power Strong. We're out!
Do an episode of it.
Testing.
Testing.
I'm the Souse Mouse. Whoa. All right.
That's been a while. Oh.
I know. Stretch my gunt.
My podcasting muscles. Oh, I don't know what those are. They're like the kegels.
I want to hear about your kegels.